Matching 3.
Matching 3, right? It's the numbers are always important so that you're not on the wrongs laminate, right? You're matching 3 phases of the coaching process, right?
Mm-hmm. With outcomes.
With outcomes, right? So now we go back. Of the foundations, it's asking you what? Which of the 3 foundational pieces is it asking you about here? It's about the process. Now you have to scaffold yourself and say, hey, when they asked us about process, what are the things that they were really talking about when they were asking about the coaching process? Because, when he asked about coaching competencies, we're talking about the pyramid, we're talking about listening, we're talking about orating, questioning. But when they're asking us about the process, right? What comes to mind when we're asking you about the process? The process is the map, by the way, the road map. Right? So when you think about that, what falls under the coaching process? And it's 3. It's not 4, it's not 6, it's 3. What are the coaching process? You see how helpful this is? You're realizing that you have to go home and study everything.
I'm not sleeping tonight.
Don't be nauseous. Right? I'll help you out.
I remember the arrows.
Okay.
That was it. Mm-hmm.
So again, when I ask you to match the 3 phases of the coaching process, phase 1, context. Focus, learn for perspective. Phase 2, content, learn for knowledge. Phase 3, conduct, learn from experience.
Oh, it's okay. Good. It's in order.
Is that helpful? Is that helpful? I need reassurance.
Yes.
It is so helpful.
My sisters, come on.
Yes.
Give me that. It's like collective efficacy. You need to believe in me, like I believe in you, in order for this to work.
Words of affirmation.
I need you to affirm me that we are on the right track. I'm going to say it again. Don't make it more complicated than it is. I'm teaching you what to listen for, which words to look for, and what they're asking, okay? Don't make it more complicated than it is. Right? You got this. You got this. Again, the process. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, the 3 C's. Context, content, conduct. You got it?
Yes.
And then learn from perspective, learn from knowledge, learn from experience. Okay? Thank you. Quiz number 6. Got 18 minutes. Come on, plenty of time.
6 phases of the expanded flow coaching.
Whew. Exhale. Come on, you got this. Write it down. Test yourself. Challenge yourself.
I've had that.
Challenge yourself. Give me 6. This is 6. There's not a lot of things that we went over that came in 6s.
I only got 5. I'm waiting for the 6.
So you know what you need to study. That one, right? That you missed.
That one.
Right, so there's not a lot of things that we grouped in 6s. This is the 6. Right? And when you think of 6, you should think of a laminate that has 6 components, right? You will have time to do that. We have an activity that allows you to go back to your laminates. Trust me. My 3 favorite words.
Trust the process.
Okay. You're going to go back to your laminates, and then you're going to review what you need to work on most, all right? And you're going to create study tools. See, when I was a teacher, that's how I prepped my kids. That's why they rocked and rolled. All right, so help me out. Brothers and sisters, what's the key words here?
6.
6
Phases. Expanded.
Oh my.
So we got to know all that information on the back.
All right, so it's really 6 and grow.
And grow.
Look, 6 and grow, 6 and grow, 6 and grow, 6 and grow. Now, it's misleading because grow, there's only 4 letters.
Yes.
Yeah. Like a
So you got to remember the other 2 that are not in grow.
F and a double.
But you guys are smart enough to know what I'm
There's 2
talking
W's.
about. Right?
F and a double W.
Oh, that's right, the F.
Right? And there's right? And there's one under the O, right? That you can't forget, the F, right?
Yeah, that's the F part.
Yeah, you
All
got to
right,
That's the F word.
all right. So without further ado, since you guys are already jumping the gun,
Wait.
Right, so it's establishing goals,
Got that.
checking reality.
Now-
The feedback.
now listen.
Yes. the
What did
feedback.
Dr. Lando say? When it's G, don't give us the word.
Goals.
Establishing.
Establishing.
Right, so what Columbia is going to be looking for, and we've been through this rodeo.
Yeah.
If you just put goals, they're going to deduct because they don't know what you mean by goals. Right?
Oh, now I gotta, so we have to learn the words before the
Yeah,
goal.
but it's common sense because you've been using it for 6 months. Right? So we're talking about establishing goals, checking reality, exploring. Don't say options. You're helping your client explore options, right? You're grounding it in feedback, right? You're charting the way forward, right? And ensuring the will to deliver. Ensuring the will to deliver. Just not ensuring the will, but ensuring the will to what? Ensuring the will to deliver. Are you on a scale of 1 to 10, right? What is your will to deliver? Don't you ask that question?
Yes.
So why is it so hard? You ask the question. That's the component. You know this. That's why my partners and I say, you already know this. You use it all the time. You use the words. Right? We're going to explore options with you right now, Megan. So give me a few options that you've tried. Show me a few options that you've seen other people do. What's going to work for you? All right? Feels like a coaching session. All right? How do we feel? We feel good? And notice on the lemon, it actually uses the same language. It says expanded grow coaching. Was it?
I sent the schedule to your email.
Was there anything that was different than the question you just saw? They use the same language, expanded grow coaching model. Right? And it's on the laminate. So that's what you know. Right? Are you making mental notes on which laminates you gotta? Okay. So this. Ooh. All right. Exhale. 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 Because I know what you're thinking. I know how educators think.
All right.
You're saying if Ed is showing us this,
There we go. That's why I said, ooh.
and there's a hell of a lot of words on this page.
Yes.
But what did I tell you was the strategy?
So we was going to have an opportunity to look at the learning.
No. Yeah, I did say that, Simone. But I also said when you look at this, there is something that tells you what to focus in on, right? So you're going to focus on the highlights and you're going to focus on the bold. You don't have to memorize the entire sentence. You just have to know what by association, right? So when you're establishing goals, you're determining ground rules. Like you see, bold, underline, bold, underline. State progress and success in bold, underline. When you explore options with your client, many possible solutions, pros and cons. Do you see how I study? Like you don't have to memorize the entire sentence. You have to make associations when we're exploring options, pros and cons. Many solutions, right? To me, that's 4 words. Right? I don't need to memorize all of this. Right? Charting a way forward. Committing to action. Early steps and quick wins. You see, like to me, the laminates were created for you to actually use as a study guide. Right? This is how you do it. This is how you... Right? This is how we do it. Did I tell you I was really good at test prep? Like my kids would rock and roll. Like my students always did well. You just got to trust the process. You got to trust what I'm telling you. Right? Don't memorize all. Just by association, explore options, draw many possible, consider pros and assess criteria. Just make the by association, right? All right, here we go. 7. I got to get to number 10 in 11 minutes. Here we go. Rock and roll. I'm gonna pass the baton in 11 minutes. All right, you know the drill. What am I going to ask you, Soleil? Yes, what are the underlying keywords? So tell me. Tell me when you see this tomorrow.
3 components, conversation outline.
Yeah, there you go. She said 3 and it's conversation outline. That's exactly how I want you to think. That's exactly, right, Christina, how I want you to think. 3, conversation outline. 3, and then you're going to say, damn, which laminate was 3 and it...
It's a lot of them.
So what's the image, Pamela? You got it. Come on, I have faith
I
in
know
you.
the image, but I think I know the.
What's, okay, so tell me what it is.
Engaging.
Go, girl!
That's amazing, because she actually remembers the hard part, and she doesn't remember the image.
Because I wrote it.
Because the image is this.
Yeah.
Look, this is the
I took
image.
my nap.
Purpose and alignment.
Right? It's so funny, because she remembers the hard part. It's the engaging, the advancing, the disengaging. But the image is what I remember. I remember the 3 balloons. When I think about conversation, beginning, middle, end, right? Beginning, middle, end. So I applaud you. The hard part is done. Like, you actually remember the hardest part of the conversation outline. But this is the image, right? So when you engage, it's the... I don't need to tell you, right? This is non-negotiable, right? I don't care if you think it sounds robotic, but that has to happen in your oral exam. You know that, right?
Right.
And if I didn't say it enough, this has to happen in your oral exam. You know that, right?